Crikey, governor. Hello, everyone. What am I doing? Play with my ear. Look, I've decided to keep one of the headphones off my ears today because I don't need it because I'm not listening to anyone. And do I have like a little elf ear? Do I have like a pointy ear? What I used to do when I was little, pull on my earlobes and be like Dopey from the Seven Dwarfs. Anyway, everyone's on the YouTubes as well as the Facebooks today. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Crikey's a bunch. Everyone's coming in. Dave Southey Williams, guess who was first in? Am I sitting okay? My posture, trying to make my posture okay. And I need to sit at this angle and all will become very clear as to why I'm sitting with a bit of space just here in a minute. Paul Hobbs is following in. And then Dave Southey Williams, another day, another comment deleted by YouTube. No, it's there. I can see it, Dave. You're there. You're there. And good afternoon. Miss you already, he says. Callum Barrell, good afternoon, folks. Afternoon all. Hey. Kerry French, Nikki Jones, Anita Platt, Jane Cuskin, Karen Howell, everyone saying hello. Welcome. Right. Gemma Marie Bennett, just had some fantastic news. Got 100% in my first law assignment and have been offered a much better job. I'm so happy I could burst. Congratulations. That's fantastic news. Awesome. Thank you, Gemma. And I'm just going to turn that off. I'm miking the mechanics today because I'm looking back over my shoulder. Cannot sing to save my life. Susan Cartwright, Tony Mallon, Dave Southey Williams. So long, farewell, Auf Wiedersehen, good night. Yeah, I want to just bring up and read portmanteau of the two, some comments. I'm going to breed some comments that were posted on our scheduled post, and Gemma Marie Bennett's going to get another shout out. It's been an emotional roller coaster for me for lockdown, as I bet for many others. Lost friends I thought would be there. I gave me time to reflect on my life and set realistic priorities and goals going forward. And the new friendships and relationships I have are worth their weight in gold. I have a much better mindset and feel infinitely better mentally and physically. Thank you so much, Danny, for doing these lives. They've kept so many people going and have brought the With Me Now community together. Stay safe and happy, my friend. Thank you very much indeed, Gemma. Once again, congratulations on the job offerings and the success. Kathy Nightingale won't be able to join, but I want to say a big thank you to all the team for With Me Now lives. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been some amazing support. Especially need to give a shout out to Bev. I do. I mean, I just had a big conversation just in depth right now. I'll come to that at the end of the live, I think. I'm just going to address what I think has been a bit of a realization on Twitter just a minute ago. Alan Mullis, thank you, Danny, with Me Now team, for the lives that have been such a great help during lockdown. They've been lots of fun throughout. It must have been extremely tiring and demanding for you, and the help given by all the team is also greatly appreciated. But it's certainly been a distraction in the past year with the lockdown factor. It's given me something to do, and I can look back at it and go, what did you do during the coronavirus crisis? And I can say, well, this is what I did. And it's all online. The annals of it all, the archive. I did something nowhere near as much as proper frontline workers. Don't even think that I'm thinking in those terms. But I did what I could do with the tools that I had at my disposal. And I hope I contributed a bit in a positive fashion. That's the thing, a part of the solution, when there have been many fantastic people out there doing far greater, more risky things. I've been lucky to be comfortable in that sense. Good luck, Danny, with all the things that you're planning now that you've done, now that you have more time. Thank you. Yeah, I certainly have got a few intentions and plans going forward about what I'd like to do. Again, still circulating around With Me Now stuff leading up to Parkrun, because there's 82 days until Parkrun comes back. So it's still a bit of a way away. And of course, Genius is coming. Actually, speaking of which, I'll make sure there's not the postcode's not on there. There you go. Battery pack, updated battery pack for Surbiton Juniors that I sorted. So they'll have 4 years worth of AED battery going forward after I step down. I'll see them through to the beginnings, the new start, and I'll hand over to a new event director, and I'll be probably a bit more focused in Chessington on certain things. And then, yeah, they've got the AED sorted. And I need to give a big shout out to who helped contribute, as well as I put a little bit of money in to say thank you and goodbye toward it. And the other person who, if they do get to watch this, thank you for contributing to it. I won't say your name because I don't want to set a precedent or pressure on you to have to do it for other people. So yeah, there you go. Right. Remind me to talk about Joe Tricini at the end. Put that in the comments so I can talk about that. Right then. Okay, lots of comments. Excuse me. Dolly Fur. Why do I keep buying black t-shirts when I know that white does not do brilliantly on black t-shirts? Right. So where are we? Gail Seal. I've loved the lives. Thank you, Gail. but happy that life is starting to return to normal. Yeah, that's when it's the right decision to make a call that people's habits, behaviors, and need for something like this as a connection every day needs to stop. And also, I don't want to burn myself out either. Great singing. That's a lie, Gemma. Evening, says Lee. Hello, Lee R. Evening to you in Australia. Was it really a year since Bev was doing her Pictionaries? Yes, Callum, you don't spoil the surprise. 1 second, going to come to that in just a tick. Karen Spackman, I would like to thank Danny in particular, but also the rest of the team. Yeah, so it's not just about me. I want to give, and I will do, I'll give a big shout out to everyone that's been a part of the process. And if I miss anybody, then also, again, say in the comments if I say, oh, hang on, Danny, if you forgot about this. But I went through all the videos, not one by one and watched them all, but I've gone through the archive as to what we've done to make sure I have a nice sort of chronology of how things have developed in the past year. Because this time, 365 days ago, was Surbiton Juniors. Well, the Junior Parkrun was the last parkrun thing at all under the parkrun banner in the UK. Third lockdown, yeah, third. I felt a bit awkward thinking I might get extra others wouldn't have done by becoming a patron, but the best thing that has come of being a patron is such a supportive community of friends I am yet to meet and hope to meet. Bless you all. And there is that I really am super hands off as best I can be in the Patreon group. But you guys are lovely. You chip in, comment, your humor, your care for each other, your ability to feel that, I want to say something, talk about something, remain very positive. And once again, you guys have facilitated so much, and you facilitated a lot of the change. The fact that I'm speaking to you in the fashion that I am right now with everything is because of you guys as well as the other people that have contributed, but you have been a staple part of it, all you patrons. So big shout out to you guys too. Stuart Brown was going to miss them. It's not goodbye in the words of Nelson from The Simpsons. Smell you later. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. It's just I won't be so regular. I feel like I've got more parkrun friends through the With Me Now lives. Yeah, if it wasn't for COVID, I wouldn't be here. Probably. It's a strange silver lining, isn't it, that COVID happened, and it, as a result of this, this has come around and come about. This wouldn't have happened without COVID, if that makes sense. So I'd rather not have COVID, but it's existed because of it. Icky Jones, thank you for that. You've created this past year, Danny, Nicola, Bev, Mark, Hannah, and Gabby. Yeah, thank you very much indeed. Thank you, Tony, to you too. Thank you, Danny, and the whole team. It's made a difference. Looking forward to these. Right, don't blow yourself out. Plenty of other people. Tony, nearly read that out fully. Susie Bannon, and then I'll get on to what I wanted to show you. I've loved all the lives, and so pleased you made it 70 and not 69 as I'm off today. Yeah, 69 was yesterday. Mile Valley. I watched it back a little bit windy, wasn't it? But lovely, such an amazing set of views. I didn't appreciate it last time I went because the weather wasn't super great. But yesterday it was lovely, apart from the wind. Being back at work has meant I missed last week, so really chuffed to join today. Thanks, Danny, and all the With Me Now community once again for making the lockdown bearable. Leah says, thanks, team, it's been fantastic. And Alan McDougall would like to echo everyone is saying thanks to Danny and the With Me Now team for the daily lives. Being such a bright spot in what have been some pretty rubbish days. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, again, it's brightened up my day too. So what I did is I went through the vids and I did a little pointers list. So it's kind of a, actually, how does that look? That looks okay, doesn't it? I'll get rid of the banner at the bottom. A bit of a rundown as to how things have happened. Oh, thank you, Charlie Pierce, for everything you and others have done during the last year. I've missed far more lives than I've seen. They're always there for anybody who can make them and be here to see them. So what had happened at the start is, if you go back through our videos, this realization. So I've started at the top that oh, actually this is going to be a bit serious, and parkrun countries, other ones have started to stop, and parkrun UK is still gone on, but then England Athletics were saying no more, and actually parkrun's going to pause. And like, what happens? How long for? We don't know. And so of course everybody, it all went wild and crazy in terms of panic, worry, what was coming. This was unprecedented. That word was used a lot. Unprecedented times, and what to do, and how is it going to affect all of us in the parkrun community as to what's going to happen to our regular Saturday, which for many people was a lot of saving grace through the working week. And then you look at what we did video-wise. It was me, laptop, rudimentary. It wasn't even lighting. The lighting's terrible. Holding the phone up, having conversations with people, and if we brought people in, I would hold the phone. I had Libby at one point on my phone, holding her, speaking through, so you could hear her into the live, which of course was direct to Facebook. We weren't doing things on YouTube at the time. So we had the laptop in the towers. Towers was a little emptier, so it was a bit more echoey. And we had Nick Pearson. Nick Pearson came along. He was very kindly came to us to talk about Parkrun's decisions over certain things. He was turning down big media, and he came to speak to us and say hello to us, and that was massively appreciated. Nick was, I don't think I've ever said this publicly, and I would like to say this now, because when I went through my darkest patch, and I know this makes it really, really awkward, but when I was having a severe dark period, Nick was the one who reached out to me and from HQ, and he said, look, I want to meet up with you, speak to you. We'll meet somewhere, we'll talk. It doesn't have to be a shop. We talk about anything. Didn't have to be about parkrun things. Something parkrun things were spoken about, but 3 times he came out, we met, and we had a chat in a coffee shop, and just, yeah, I'll always appreciate that he didn't need to do that, at all. And he reached out and came, made his effort, his way to come and speak to me privately, and we just had conversation. So yeah, always will have a lot of respect for Nick for doing that, of all the people out there, because I haven't had the longest relationship with him in the parkrun terms. I've obviously known of him for a long time, and he's been CEO, but in terms of my parkrun history, he hasn't been there for 16 years. Sorry, in terms with me, I should say. So he didn't need to do that, but he did. So big up, Nick. Lockdown then happened. Then, of course, all the restrictions came in. That happened a little while later. Boris did his announcement on the Monday night, and that was it. There was the decision to make the live every day, and then that began the Pictionary. So, of course, Pictionary, which was loved, much loved, still much loved. Bev Ross, she always says that, in her PJ slippers. Everybody's ability who are lucky enough to work from home, is like, nah, not getting dressed properly. There's no point, no need. No, you just shave. No, you do all the usual things you do if you're commuting. But Bev would be in her PJs and her slippers, and with her iPad, we'd have the easel, and I would do all the innuendos, like bushy for bushy. And I would hold the phone. I'd hold the phone up a bit wonky and wobbly, and I'd read the comments on Facebook, and Bev would draw things, and she'd show off her artistic skills, fantastic artistic skills. It was lovely to have, and it kept people going. It was a very positive 30 minutes around lunchtime every day during the first lockdown. 2 weeks in, we had our first Park Faff cafe. I recognised that we'd lost the cafe element, so it was nice to talk about 11 o'clock on a Saturday, like we would be if we were at a cafe post park run. That began, and Nicola was with us, I think. Is that right? Did Nicola join us at that point? Because then we started to use the Zooms. Yeah, it was Bev Zoom. We used Bev's Zoom account, which then, of course, afforded us to be able to, I think, branch out a bit further. I don't know if that came then or was a bit later, but we were doing the Park Faff Cafe. Elliot's quizzes. Elliot provided us quizzes. Of course, Parkrun UK was doing quizzes too. They were doing the School of Parkrun. They were doing the Sunday morning warm-up things. So everybody was coming together from the parkrun community to make things going. Not Parkrun came in a little bit later, but Elliot was providing us with a few quizzes that we enjoyed doing. The potato internet thing came around, wasn't it, Nicola? I think we did one of the lives. We did the live podcast, didn't we? And it was potato internet came around. And I need to give shout outs to people who then filled in. It didn't need to be me all the time doing stuff. It was Mark Brocklehurst came along, and Hannah Perrin, and she was showing off her wonky bears. That's not innuendo. But yeah, the wonky bears, and she came on and did that too. It was lovely to have them on board. I did a live from Pootle once. I did a quiz live from Pootle. I looked at the video, and it was like, yes, I had to take Bev to the hospital, if you remember. And so I was due to go live, and I did it while sat in the car on a hill by Kingston Gate near Richmond Park. So that was that. Then we had the party ring and Oreo debate, if you remember. That was brought up. Nicola couldn't believe Bev prefers the party rings. Mella Backer was on. Tok, Mel Ellis. We had them for the Park Faff. That was lovely to speak to them on Saturday night over in Australia. Mel did a live for Stuart Harding from running his BS. He came on and did a live, so he chipped in. He helped out. We then had a bunch of interviews with everybody. We were talking about all sort of things like Claudia in a wheelchair to then MS, and just the whole branch of things. We had staff from HQ, and it just did that too, adding to the interview series. Of course, Parkrun UK were doing interviews with people too. So again, making people engaged, entertained, and connected all the way through. The Bell of Shame came around because people didn't read the arbitrary post one time. Ding, it's just up there, the Bell of Shame. Pegasus, and this was the big thing. New Zealand came back. That was, I think, is going to be, when you look back on it, one of the core moments when that was that light, that beacon of hope that parkrun wasn't going to be got rid of. It was going to be there. New Zealand has always been that anchor for us, isn't it? That parkrun's going to come back. If New Zealand can do it, then it keeps us there. It keeps us relevant rather than it just being like we are now, where the whole globe is parkrun less. Pegasus was there and New Zealand was there, and we had Hannah Oldroyd there live on the Zoom. That's one of the best things that I've done live wise. It was the first time we had like a live broadcast of a sporting event. It's led on to other things. It was groundbreaking, I feel, certainly in a parkrun capacity, and also for, again, no sport was happening. I mean, Bev Zoom, there we go. Bev Zoom was coming in, which of course that had happened before because that enabled us to do the Pegasus thing. StreamYard then came around. I was looking to do live streaming stuff to get something to do a service. StreamYard came in. Parkrunpedia happened. Hannah Perrin, Gabby Neer came in 6 months ago. Then we had the proposition of the UK restart. That then happened. That, of course, was controversial. Yeah, I remember it very, very well. And then, of course, all the spats and debates online. And then Tom Williams, we had him on for the interview to explain decisions and reasoning as to why behind. That was very kind of him to come on and do that for us. The Parkrun UK live Q&As, which of course was watched by, I think, 2,500 people concurrently at one point, which was crazy, scary. I don't think it'll be anywhere near as controversial or anywhere near as big next time if we do them. Much more positive, different culture now in terms of how we see things. Virtual volunteer app video still going strong. Australia and New Zealand looked at it to use it because they were doing it. New events were coming back on and volunteers wanting to know how to do it. That's up to, I think, 5,000 views at the moment, still going strong. Australia returned. We were live from Darwin. Mark Connolly was there, wasn't he, from Darwin? And then he had a gimbal, which then led on to other things, as we know. The 16th anniversary happened. Then we were at Rotorua, and Jacinta Hewitt was with us. Of course, you weren't able to be at Parkrun for the 16th anniversary, but we were enabled to be at a Parkrun that happened on the 16th anniversary because New Zealand was happening. So that was fantastic too. So you've managed to keep that going, and that's just a portion of what we've done. And then the Not London Marathon live. We went live on the Sunday from Bushy Park, and people doing the Not London Marathon. So that was another thing that we did. And then I was trying to do video games and Among Us. I was playing Among Us with Patreons online. Then Guernsey came back, Isle of Man, Cape Pembroke Lodge. So UK territories are coming back. We had the interview with the ED from Guernsey. Yes, Vember then came around, which was our second lockdown. Yes, Vember having to say yes to everything, which is one of the funniest things I've ever done. Making Nicola making I say yes to everything. Excuse me, no matter what the question was. Then the gimbals, the Churchfields. Bev kindly bought me a gimbal, and I went up to Churchfields and did a walk around so you could see what I was doing and where I was going every Saturday. I went to Surbiton Juniors, so you could see what Surbiton Juniors' course was like, that I was talking about regularly in the pod. We then had Down Count, and we then had Blank Blankety. So Down Count was fantastic. Blank Blankety we did for Christmas time, which was Christmas Eve, I think, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. And then it was Christmas Day we went live, and then Boxing Day we went live. Throughout the Christmas period, just keeping people feeling less isolated, because Parkrun was missing, which often was the case, that people felt on Christmas Day they didn't see anybody. And we couldn't be there, but we could virtually be there for people who might be alone on Christmas Day, who had been alone for a long time in the previous, 9 months. It's nuts to think about it. So we did that. Then lockdown 3 years then obviously happened. And then we've done the whole 70. I've done the 70 lives every day. Every single day I've been here in some capacity. And here we are. Shanties we did. Mark, Nicola, Gabby have gone for bimbles with their gimbal. We've had Lauren Reed's interview, the new world record, ladies world record. So that was fantastic. The controversial video, everybody did the thumbs down and the dislikes and the angry faces. I found hilarious. Booping with Snoop, seeing all your pets. We had the memories. We were going back a year as to each week as to where you were at until we got to the point where we paused. We did burbs. We did the burbs counting on the Sunday morning. And then we've had the World Cup, and this is the biggest thing. I think we've finished with a flourish. Someone's put an angry emoji. I knew you'd do that, Tony. Tony, man, I was expecting you or Gemma to put an angry emoji on. Just saw that pop up. And the World Cup, super success. And I say that, and I'm proud of it, because it was resoundingly successful in terms of engagement and reach. The World Cup of Parkrun Beauty and the World Cup of Parkrun Cafes, that it reignited communities to engage with their community online on social media, which has otherwise been paused or dead. And I need to give shout outs to all the events that have been doing things every week with their Not Parkrun lives. Again, like I barely scratch the surface with ones like Kettering and Melton Mowbray. They're the ones that spring to mind immediately. But yeah, just keeping it going, just keeping us connected, using the tools that we have virtually online. So big up to them. And the World Cups, like I said, I didn't expect it to be anywhere near as profoundly successful. Enough to the point where we'll do it again next year. Took a bit of time and work to do it, but yeah, just brought so many new people into our community and our audience. It reached out further. So fantastic. Thank you very much to everybody that engaged with that, especially like, of course, Bear Island making 2 finals and winning one, and Beeston Cafes, and recognizing the element and the importance of cafes and community. So yeah, that in a nutshell is just a brief overview. And if I've missed anything, then say in the comments. That's what we've been doing. 180 plus live videos, 52 podcasts throughout the year, with Mark involved and Hannah and Nicola and everyone else that chipped in, and Helen Reese with the shanties. And yeah, if I'm missing anybody, the Instagram, Lucy Anderson looking after that too. Across all the channels, people have contributed left, right, and centre, emails and things. So let's have a brief look through the comments. There we go. Yeah, okay. Wow. Jeepers. Okay, lots of comments. Nikki Jones, thank you, Danny. Jane Cuskin, a big thank you from Jane. Got me through. It's been a lifesaver for me and got me through all the lockdowns. Need a break, but I'll miss these. Thank you, Jane. Emma Shaw needs a new battery for Perry Hall too. John Japp's looking forward to meeting people in person. Hope you're all okay with your pacemaker, John. Big love to you too. I'm glad that it's a good outcome, if that makes sense. Jamie Sercom, the Oscar nominations on the TV right now. So best parkrun supporting movies. Danny Norman are with me now. Thanks so much for being a highlight of many a long furlough day. You're very welcome, Jamie. Thank you all so much. Right, Susan Cartwright. I'm having my first vaccine this evening. Yeah, I need to book mine. Apparently I've got an underlying health condition. I do wonder, I think I know what that might be. Even though I don't recognise it, I'm able to book one. It might just be the fact that I'm old too. I'm getting on now into my 40s. Callum Burrell says the lives during the first lockdown really helped the Burrells, a little piece of fun routine to brighten our days. Many thanks to all who've been involved throughout. You're very welcome. Susie Bandon, loved all the lives and pleased you made. Oh, actually, I've already read that. Sorry, I've gone too far back. Dave Sarby Williams. Fella, I'm apparently emotional today, having a bit of a cry. Love you all. You big softy. Love to you too. Rob Widdis, thank you. Many thanks to everyone for all of the hard work. I had no idea how much I need you all to help me through. I want to make sure that I'm not too much circle jerking. I'm just patting myself on the back. So I recognize that people watching going, oh, shut up, Danny. Don't just keep on going. Thank you. That's not really the purpose for it. But I'm reading all the comments and I recognize and appreciate every single one. Thank you, our darling, dearest sweetheart, because, yeah, I know it's been hard on you too, Mum and Dad. You've missed your Ellenbrook Parkrun Fields enormously. You'll be back there soon, wearing your parkrun hoodies. Yeah, won't be giving hugs, but you know what I mean. You'll be there to meet and greet people on the gate at Ellenbrook Parkrun Fields for all the wonderful fun we've had. Dad and I cannot wait to meet all the fabulous park runners. We need to get you up to the Perry Hall for the Power Hour, don't we? Need to book your hotel and get you up there somehow, Mum. I think I'll have to take you up there. And yeah, it's for me not being able to see you once in a year, but you've been able to see me. So I appreciate the fact I've been able to do this for you. Mags McCarty, the chats, the games, the pods, spinballs will be something that I remember as a huge positive and a help when I think back on the strange life period. So thank you. I hope, Mags, I agree that when we look back on this period, that this is something that is a memory for you, a positive memory for you, and not just you can look through all the news and everything, just the negative stuff that's happened, the divisiveness, but there's been lots of positive things too. And we want to be one of those things that you recall in a positive fashion. Your lighting is great today, Danny. Thank you, Amanda Murray Hintide. Yeah, I've been spending time sorting it all out. Colin G A4018. I'm binge watching the back catalogue whilst looking after my newborn. So much better than Netflix. Thanks all. Thank you. Yeah, it's interesting because, of course, the way that our mindsets, attitudes, opinions of things, understanding of things has changed over the past year. It's amazing. Yeah, big up to Nick, big up to Mark and everyone else. All right, sorry if I just scroll through. I know this isn't particularly entertaining. Stuart Brown would love the Among Us sessions. Yes Vember in the pod. They love Yes Vember. Yeah, booping of snoots. Christmas Pictionary. Yes, I nearly killed a laptop with gin and ginger beer. Nearly killed. It was beeping. He had to mute it because you'd affected one of the buttons. It's amazing that you've been able to keep doing. Okay, keep going. Everyone connected. Thank you so much. You're very welcome. Stuart Harding, you get a shout. Oh, hopefully you didn't miss it. Sorry, I'm late. Can you start again for me, please? No, I cannot. I don't want to talk about the games. Oh, your Running is BS has come out a new A new pod has come out today. Don't forget to download it. I don't want to talk about the games, but the numbers you posted earlier, bonkers. To do so much when your actual subject basically hasn't happened is incredible. Karen Spackman talked about that really early on. She put it in proportions, but it's mad, isn't it, that we've done 100 and coming up to 140 podcasts, and 52 of which have been without a park run. Is that right? Yeah. So 90 with, something like that. Like a third of our existence, the subject matter we're meant to talk about hasn't happened or barely happened. You know what I mean? Australia and New Zealand does count. So yeah, thank you, Stuart. Big up. I mean, you got a lot of respect because, of course, you know what it's like to do just to put a podcast together every fortnight, how much work goes into that. And so an enormous amount. When I listen to your podcast and listen as to you've blatantly put so much work into the composition and show notes. So yeah, I think there's a lot of empathy and vice versa. So big respect from you as a fellow creator, Stuart. Much appreciated. Jackie Morris, the lives have been amazing and such a bright spot in so many people's day, including mine. Well done, and thank you to all involved. Thank you, Jackie. And thank you for your involvement as well. I completely forgot because, of course, you have done stuff, master baking for us and the pancakes. Like I said, if I've forgotten anyone or missed anything, it's not been deliberate. I tried to compile a list whilst trying to whiz through the videos. Nikki Jones, I'm still doing weekly countdown on Zoom with my mum and sister. It brings us together, even though my sister wins every time. Loved all the lives, says Tony Liddell. No words, just an apricot heart. And thank you to you. Thank you to the Bentleys. We've done cycling privately with the Bentleys and Elliot and others who are doing Sunday evenings in the first lockdown together. We had Matty, we've had Poppy. Big shout out to Poppy and Nicholas Gimbals. Poppy being a light in the live videos while she's been running ahead of Nicola during the gimbals. That's been amazing. Just an apricot heart. You're very welcome, Nicola. Like I say, thank you to you and the Bentleys for coming on and doing Kitchenary. That was hilarious. Yeah, the sight of Hannah charging around Pegasus will stay with me forever. I think that's going to be one of the biggest, that for me is one of the proudest moments, being able to get that happening and getting that point of light for all of us. Rick Oliver. Hi, Rick. I'm a bit late. Is this going to be the last one? Yeah, it's going to be the last live from lockdown 3. So there will be occasions where we'll want to go live again. Obviously, June the 5th in the UK will be live. There'll be ones in the interim. There'll be things that may happen. We may want to talk about certain things that have happened in the 80 plus days that lead up to Parkrun. So Parkrun is still coming. With Me Now isn't going anywhere. Podcast is still happening. I need to write the show notes after this and get that ready for tomorrow's recording. But in terms of the lockdown everyday lives, yeah, 70 and done. And then I can focus on other things. I still have a few little things in my head that I want to do recorded video wise that you'll see. Penny Simpson, I've missed most of this. We'll watch later. While Australia does count, I always feel like a bit of an imposter in the lives, but I've really enjoyed them. Thank you. You guys over there have kept us going. The fact that whilst you're happening, it's the fact that you are happening keeps us balanced and positive that it will come back. You've been like steps ahead of us, but we've been looking at you thinking we'll be following in your footsteps, if that makes sense, rather than being like you've been stretching away from us. We'll be following along behind you. So that's why you're so important over there. Try not to cry at work. Best go for a walk. These masks soak up tears. But you're a big softie as well, Amanda Murray Hintide. So yeah, a couple of things I want to address. The new book with Parkrun. You may have seen on Twitter that I've seen the new Parkrun book by Eileen Jones. Please go and read it. Please go and buy it. I'm absolutely in support of it. I had a big call with her over an hour, and my entry in there, I just wanted to say that I respect what Eileen's put in. I just wanted to say on record that I don't think it reflects entirely what I was meaning. And it is what it is. It's out there. But I just read the first line. It was like Parkrun says it's like a religion. Danny says it's a religion or a cult. And I said in context on the call, I believe I said it's like a religion. It has elements of, you can associate it with, or you can see people from the outside like a cult. Remember the interview we did with the Backstreet Boys? They were looking at us like we're kind of culty. And I was trying to express that we have shared elements like football does. And so the way like an hour's phone call has been put into like a page worth of information in the book, I'm like, I didn't quite mean it like that. So that's interesting, but I'm not going to dispute anything other than I still want to promote it. I still want to speak to Eileen and have her on for a live and talk about the book going forward. My name's associated with those words. I can't say I agree 100% with how they put across, but it is what it is. So there you go. I just wanted to say that. because of course my name's attached to those words. Try not to cry, obviously. And then the 100th pod or live was awesome. You're very welcome, Callum. I tried but didn't succeed. What's she replying to? Is the powwow date fairly definite? Second weekend in July, says John. I don't think anything's definite going forward, is it? At the moment with booking anything or planning for anything. We have to wait and see. No, it's not second weekend. Second weekend is my birthday, and I've got to do my cousin. So I'm doing this because the cat fur is everywhere. Is my cousin's wedding. It'll be the third weekend, if possible, probable. Danny, please book your vaccine today, David Irwin. Yeah, no, I will do. It's down in Kingston. I've got to sort that. That's the nearest thing to it. Are you saying woman's a heretic? No, I don't want there to be anything personal with me and Eileen. I totally respect that she's had a job to do and she's got a lot of information and she's taken something from her notes on the phone call, and it is what it is. I'm not particularly upset or angry about it. I don't think that words quite would be the ones that I would have said or how it would come across as phrased. But it's in print, and therefore I just want to take the right to reply to say, okay, that's a version of my words being interpreted. I wouldn't necessarily put it in that way. I said things along those lines, but there's more nuance and meaning to it. And like I said, if that's in print, there's nothing much I can do about it. But I do have the opportunity now live to say, okay, I don't quite necessarily agree with how it's portrayed. But like I say, it is what it is. It's there you go. And I have luckily a platform to come out and say this. Parkrun Holy Relics of Barcode and Finished Token. Yeah, well, I was saying about people, religion is going to a parkrun place every week. And like football, you go to a cathedral or football stadium, or we have our locations, and you go and see your community and you feel as part of one, like a tribe. And you have your own lexicon and your own interest group, and you understand elements of it. You have your own beliefs about how you're meant to act and behave and think, and how it has extra effects in the rest of your life. The whole point of the book initially I was being led to believe, and it is a case of how it feels a whole way is like a sort of new religion. And I can see that there's the parameters of religion, how it's perceived if you were to surmise it, and parkrun has elements of that. Like I said, it's a tribalism thing. You can do that with all sorts of interest topics. And so the hours long of conversation being compressed into that, it's quite hard to put across. Again, nuance and tone written in the written word. So it's an interesting one, but like I say, I haven't got the book yet. I've seen the entries where my name's attached, but I am still happy for it to, anything which is done by a creative, anything that's out there for a wider audience that people would like to again talk about parkrun wise, promoting the benefits of parkrun. I'm all behind it. Anyway, cat rental. Jeremy Bennett, you forgot cat rental. Yeah, I did indeed. And that's it. So also I want to talk about Joe Tricini. Just had a big conversation with Bev. This is a bit awkward, Bev, isn't it? But I'll just say, I wonder about, there we go, Joe Tricini. You know, I've always had my issues and things recently in terms of depression and so forth. The past couple of years ago, Joe Tricini, who is on Twitter, is fantastic about talking about how his brain works. Talked about borderline personality disorder, and it's the first time I've actually Googled it to see if I share traits with it, and I think I do. When I'm reading through the symptoms of things, there is lots of things that talk about how I have it, and 1 in 100 people have it, and how to cope with it. It can't be diagnosed by a GP. You need to see a psychotherapist, a psychologist even, and how you cope with it, and recognizing the elements of it. And I tick all the boxes for it, which is a bit, but it's the thing is trying to remove the stigma from it. I'm trying to say, oh, Danny does this and does that because of these reasons, and having an understanding as to why I behave like that makes it easier for me. Because there are many people out there who do things in a way that have no apologies, and they just do it because they just are. But I'm always retrospectively and I've always throughout my life been told I overanalyze everything. And it's like, don't do what you're naturally inclined to do, Danny. It's really hard. It's like, stop doing that, Danny. You're like, I don't do it deliberately. People are always telling you, beating on you to say, stop doing this, Danny. You're like, I'm not doing it deliberately. It's the way I am. And if you have a understanding, a medical diagnosis of it, it makes you appreciate as to why a person is the way they are, because there's nothing pre-planned with me. I'm not trying to upset anybody or anger anybody, but understanding that I have an issue makes it easier for me to manage it. And then the people can, if you say it publicly, it makes it easier for other people to come out and understand. That's why I think I've got big respect for Joe Titini, because he's breaking down that taboo subject matter, and then talking about the darker side of things. And it makes it really awkward for some people, talking about the voice in your head that's telling you to do something you don't want to do. And I would say if it's 1 in 100 people, there's a lot of people out there who have it who may not know about it. So yeah, there you go. I just wanted to bring that up. I just thought it would be a bit of maybe a heavy hitting thing to talk about right at the end. But I think I need to go and see someone about it. But in the meanwhile, the entire point of it being is that, yeah, thank you guys for helping me to be strong over the past year through this lockdown and going forward toward the New Park Run. Holly Tree, thank you, Danny, and everyone else who has been involved with the lives. It's been great to have company at lunchtime when working from home, as it does get lonely. To echo many others, I feel like I've got to know the With Me Now community better, and I hope I meet people out and about in the Parkrun Wild in the future. Amen, Holly. Amen. So take care, everyone. Thank you, Kerry. I know that you've always said things that as to there's something not right there. You've been a huge support. You helped me go and see somebody in the first place. So big up to you. And recognizing you have an issue. And that's the thing. It's not, it's interesting with the language, isn't it? It's an issue. It's half the battle. Well done. It's interesting because, of course, the conversation being that I recognize I have something where other people will refuse to acknowledge it. And I think it's better if people acknowledge it, rather than sit there in your head going, well, I'm trying to make myself fit society. I'm trying to fit normality. I'm told what is normal, and people are screaming inside in their head because they're like, I can't do it. I don't know what is wrong with me. If you understand that it's not your fault, it's something which is going on in your brain chemically, it helps you to manage it. And I'm sure many people can relate to that. They're like, they get so frustrated, but they're just told to stop doing, or why have you done that? And if you're open and honest and have the conversation about it, it helps other people realize that we have so many differences but similarities, if that makes sense, and we can understand and appreciate each other. That's the true inclusivity side of things, that you recognize how people are, and look after each other because of it. Anyway, right, take care, everyone. I know it's very open and honest and bare all, but that's one way to go out on the last live. So yeah, love you to you all. I really appreciate all the comments, every single one. And just be you. I'm just me, and I try to be the best that I can be. And like with anyone, I get things wrong, I make mistakes, but I acknowledge it. And no one's perfect, no one's flawless. I try to be the best that I can be, and I have a battle every day. But I just want you guys to, I have nothing but positive agendas and ambitions with it all, really. Motivations are positive. I want to keep people united and happy. I want to make you laugh. Anyway, love to you all. Ta-ra, and see you soon. Who knows when? Who knows when? Thank you for joining me, guys. Love to you all. Bye-bye.